Good evening, students. This is Ramarao sir, lecturer in physics in Rajendranagar. Today I will going to start Newton's laws of motion with friction problems. See here. Suppose consider two blocks. Consider two blocks of masses m1 and m2 are connected. M1 and M2 are connected with a string like this. Okay, imagine that M2 is greater than to M1. Then what happening is that M2 block will move downward direction with an acceleration A. So M1 block also connected with the same string. So that's what M1 block also moves with the same amount of acceleration A with that M2. Okay, so here M1 block is placed on a rough horizontal surface. So that's what the friction force will act along the direction. Friction force Fk is equal to mu k into n, which is acting opposite direction. Okay, and the tension force at every touching point will act away from the touching point. Here also the tension force will act away from the touching point. Here also the tension force will act away from the touching point. Here also the tension force will act away from the touching point. Okay. For the M1 blocks, how many forces will acting on the M1 block? See here. Its weight will act downward direction, acting downward direction, M1G, and normal reaction force will acting upward direction like this. Okay. So normal reaction force will acting upward direction. So the acceleration of the system in this problem we should have to calculate the acceleration and tension force of the system. Okay. So what is the acceleration of the system? So the acceleration of the system is given by A is equal to F driving force minus F opposing force upon total mass M total mass. So what is the driving force here? Here driving force is the M2G. For M2G will acting downward direction. This is a driving force. So here the opposing force is nothing but a friction force. Total mass of the system is M1 plus M2. Okay, is it clear? So acceleration of the system can be written as A is equal to, what is the driving force? Driving force is nothing but M2G minus opposing force. What is the opposing force? The friction force is nothing but here opposing force, that is Fk upon total mass is nothing but M1 plus M2. Therefore A is equal to M2G minus Fk means mu k into n, mu k into n upon M1 plus M2, that is A is equal to M2 into G minus mu k into n. So what is the n? Where n is balances with M1G, that is equal to M1G upon M1 plus M2. So in the numerator G is a common, therefore the acceleration would be A is equal to G take common, G into M2 minus mu k into M1 upon M1 plus M2. So this is a expression for the acceleration of the system. Next we should have to calculate the tension force of the system. Take FBD diagram for the M2 block. This is M2 block. M2 block you should treat like a point mass, that is M2. For M2, how many forces will acting on the M2? See, tension force is acting upward direction T, and its weight will acting downward direction M2G, and the block is moving downward direction A. Therefore, the net force acting on the system M2A is equal to M2G minus T. So from this T is equal to M2 into G minus A. Now this A value substitute in this equation, then you will get the tension force, that is T is equal to m2 into g minus a value is a so a value is a g into m2 minus mu k m1 minus mu k m1 upon m1 plus m2. Okay. So, from these two terms you will take again common g, that is m2 g into m1 plus m2 minus m2 plus mu k m1 upon m1 plus m2. Okay. So, here mu k m1 is there and m1 is there. From these two terms you can take the common m1, then then a is equal t is equal to m2g into m1 take common, then what is the remaining resistor? 1 plus mu k into here plus m2 minus m2 will get cancelled out upon m1 plus m2, that is t is equal to m1 m2 into 1 plus mu k into g upon m1 plus m2. This is a tension force in the string. ठीक है? Okay. हाँ